Oh. Oh, that looks weird.
Give me a second. There we go. I didn't even double check
Justin.
if it was.
How you
the right
doing?
one.
Good. I want this chair.
I was so mad at myself.
Oh, this,
I had it on my calendar, I had it in my phone, I had it all the places, and I just forgot.
no problem.
Is she still trying or did she give up on us?
I hope she didn't give up.
I sent you a couple photos of
Oh,
Uptown Jazz too. So
good. I'll,
off the Facebook page. I
I
asked.
will play around with it.
Sharon Parker was super excited in the fact that several of the people she knew singing from church or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. One was from, yes, Karen, I think it was one of the,
Yeah?
yeah, that's nice.
Sweet.
Oh, let's see.
If there's 3 of us though, it's okay.
Is there only 5 of us now? Yeah, ever keep track.
I'm enjoying your hair color.
Thanks.
You don't like it?
Blonde. All right, thank you.
Is it pretty new?
Where?
This could be Lance. He has a suggestion for us. We'll see.
We'll take it.
I didn't get to read that Oakville email, so I'd like to add that to the agenda. If you think that's an agenda item. Is it?
I'm sorry, what?
There was an Oakville email you forwarded to me.
I forwarded it to a bunch of people. I never knew if anybody ever got back to him.
Okay.
It's Lance.
Here he is. Hello.
That's-
The man, the myth, the legend. That's what he just said.
Right.
All right, I have to find the link for Dawn and then she'll join us.
How you doing, Lance? Just ducky. All right.
I like your proposal from Paul Pendergrass, so that'll be fun to visit.
I think so, yes. I agree.
That'll be good. We should start naming stuff. Let's see.
Some stuff.
All right, let's see if this is gonna do it. We're trying to help Dawn join us from,
In New York?
yeah,
Why doesn't that guy just move here?
or is she there? She even has another house.
Oh, what's,
I know,
okay, well, whatever. You can ask her that here in a second.
yeah,
When she zooms in, you can ask her.
I think,
No, I don't think that's my place.
no, come
I
on.
think that I'll just let well enough alone. I'll keep my opinions to myself. Wise.
Are we
I have
Are
to
we
show-
recording right now or not yet? I
I have
think
to show
we
you
are.
something.
Yeah,
This is a tree that was cut down at Northern Hills Golf Course.
Yeah.
Look at what some cool.
Is it
tree-
wine corks?
Rain corks. And they made this little gnome house.
That's cool.
alright.
Yeah. Did you see that or did somebody send it to you?
No, I saw it.
Yeah.
I was.
Were you over there in the weeds?
Was
Playing
playing
your
there.
ball?
Well, of
I wanna
course.
see, can I
Why
see?
wouldn't I be?
I'm right there with you.
Can I see?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Is
where
her
is it?
name Tim?
Northern Hills Golf Course.
And it's like a little, oh yeah, Tim would be
It's a
the.
little
Yeah.
gnome house.
Can you hear us, Dawn?
Where's the beehives at? Very close.
Beehives?
Yeah, the bear that took the bee, dumped over the beehives.
Oh, there, we see you. You might not hear us yet.
Hello.
Tim is the young man in New York, right?
Oh,
Yes, he was just here. Tim, do you want to say hello?
Join or no come
This is Tim. He's letting me use his computer and his camera.
I like it, it's good.
Oh.
Hello.
This is Orinoco City Hall.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
bird's eye view.
You can see the snow.
Get down here, they- whoa, whoa.
Okay,
Well,
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so we can bring the meeting to order at 7:07. I like it. Okay. So. Dana, you'll take care of the present and absent. And so on. Okay, so I apologize because we didn't get the May meeting minutes out to everybody. So, yeah, so. I only was able to print the first page because I've never seen the software you used. What was that?
I don't know. I sent them, I always do everything right away, but I have. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so
I'm sure they're fine.
Sunny had that, but then didn't distribute to us because I think she didn't. You want to read them? If you want to
I
just
would love
buzz
to.
them over, buzz real quick.
Can you just
Yes.
give us a
I'll
summary?
give you the highlights. So, let's see. Ryland said. Oh, about the Central Water Trails, so we got another month for that. And then Ryland is working with DOT, so maybe he can give us. This is in the old lake bed. We hope to have the land turned over to the city for use in the park system. Age-friendly Orinoco was quiet. Adoption options. Discussion was had regarding planting and maintenance. Dana would like to see volunteers do the planting and Public Works maintain. Katie agreed. Don will do research on using a water wicking system to decrease maintenance needs and send the information to Sunny. The porta potties were delivered. And then, previously needed reports have been filed by Kane, so we might have, are we done? EAB grant, or are we
No,
still
that doesn't go
responsible?
till next year,
So there was,
June of 2024.
we just had paperwork that was required to be filed technically before we move forward, so we had to retroactively do that on council.
Is that on the agenda?
No, it's been done.
No, I want to know if the grant is on the agenda.
Oh,
For today it is. Although, do they have their own porta potty there that's probably paid for by Golden Canoe?
It's the current DNR access.
no, we're asking if there's a porta potty.
Not our problem.
Right? Okay. So, Park Grounds, the Master Gardener Program project. For perennials by the sign, city is looking at. Native perennial grasses that are low maintenance and drought resistant. This will be a good summer to test what types of plants will tolerate that area, and Dawn will send a list of plants to Sunny. And then I believe you were trying to say no mow May. Dawn was curious if Orinoco was supportive of that, and it says that we all agreed. And then it says, we would like to. We do not mow. In the newsletter, Dawn volunteered to write up a plan for next May and we'll send it to Sunny. Alice Park, last spring, the committee and some volunteers gathered to pull the invasive garlic mustard. We 68. Share information about garlic. This year, the Parks Committee is sponsoring these 3 evenings of music. 7 to 8, June 4, July 2nd, and July 23. Previous like that, Dana confirmed with Kane that continuous loop paths will be mowed now that work is done down by the river. Garden Park, 1 lot has been rented. Carroll Garden Park, no updates. Riverwood Hills Park, there has been some erosion along the newly paved path by Estes Lane. Public Works and the engineer are aware seeding will begin soon around the lift station. Will be starting up soon. And we adjourned at 8:18. So. Meeting minutes,
Second?
okay? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, so. That was received. And then does anyone else have anything to add? Okay. Rylan, you said you'll tell us more about the water trail in July?
Application that we sent in to the LCCMR for the Zumbro Water Trail. There's a June 8th meeting, and that's kind of the first selection point to see if. So I'll have a report in July on that.
CMR meeting, you said?
We need to approve the agenda and the,
Oh, yes, we should. Oh, same sign? Was there more talk about DOT in the peninsulas? Has anything happened between May and now? Right,
Push the subject a little bit, but every
right?
probably 4 weeks, so I thought I'd just ask.
Exactly, I'm gonna move that.
We're not going anywhere. Keep asking.
Like this, right?
It should be a turn. 45 degrees at least.
There's this community sign here with a electronic message board. It's 2 foot by 7 foot electronic message board, same size as Grace Lutheran Church. And there'll be a City of Orinoco sign above it, backlighted. And then we're setting one over on the corner of Memorial Park along Lake Shady Avenue. This is gonna be about 2 feet off the ground. Lower, maybe visible for distances and maybe even off the highway as well. So those have been ordered. We're using the American Rescue Plan funds for that.
So it'll
COVID
be,
money?
yeah,
Sorry?
COVID money.
It's not COVID money, but it's that followed up after that.
we can use it.
That's a 2 foot by 7 foot sign.
You know.
Anything that city,
Any, yeah, meetings.
any announcements? Don't have a time frame. It'll probably be 2-3 months before they here, but
Right?
we'll confirm that here a bit later on, but yes. And the sign that's here now. Donated for $1 or whatever to the Lions Club, and they're going to use it and put over like White Miller's building. They've talked to this side too. I asked if they would consider taking it out too, so we'll see that. Helping Public Works take it out.
Great. Agreeable to, ow, I just did wetlands. Species, and then, a couple, like. Can see you, but you can't hear me. It might be the air conditioner. She looks like she can hear me. Weird. All right. So we have.
Were you trying to talk with me? Oh, I can barely, a lot of the, I don't know if you're trying to talk to me, I can barely hear you.
We turned the air conditioner off.
Okay, I can hear that. I heard that.
Or something else.
That microphone up at all, or?
Mhm.
Or just pretend.
The microphones are up.
They're green things, right? Is that better now, Dawn?
Right there.
Yes, I can hear that. So I don't, if you asked me something or referred to me, I did not hear it at all. But go ahead. What was there something you were asking?
Yeah, so you purchased a couple plants that were put by the sign. Was that what type of fern was that?
They were, so I checked out what was already there and what could work there. And because it's under an evergreen, they already had creeping phlox there, which was doing well, and columbine. But I also got 2 lady ferns that do well under conifers or under evergreens.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah,
I gave those to Val.
Vivian.
And so, pardon me? Vivian, sorry.
It's okay.
It's a V,
Yeah,
it's close.
yeah.
I'm like Val, I'm sure it starts with V. So, and I still haven't met her actually, but I left them anyway. So I think that, I don't know if they're planted yet or not, but I hope they are.
They are planted.
Oh, good.
Yes, they look great.
Good.
And she's gonna be by tomorrow to plant the plants that you bought from Prairie Moon.
Yeah, from Prairie Moon, I bought what they call a colossal pollinator mix for like hot, sunny areas. And once they're established, their most tender part is when they're first planted. But after probably a year or 2, they should be fine no matter what the weather. They should be attracting pollinators, hummingbirds and bumblebees, butterflies. I know there's a few milkweed in there, so that we should be getting some monarchs. And they are definitely perennials. They definitely should be very hardy. Once they get established, their roots go very deep. And I hope they live.
And the city's all right that we're putting them in that mulch between the planters, because that's the plan, right?
I didn't know, I was just told to go ahead and do it.
I know, right? So it's okay, right?
Well, I mean, I think we
As
have to
long-
ask Lance if he wants the hollyhocks replaced.
I had,
Well, the hollyhocks are no more.
don't ask me
Thank
because you don't wanna know the
I
answer.
know, that's why I
I
asked.
hate them.
No, yeah, Dawn, thank you for doing that.
I gave myself approval to put them there.
There you go.
Sounds
for
good.
you.
And Vivian even has some plans that she's gonna put by the hostas, by the Orinoco sign, so we'll
If
see
you
how
need
that
to
all
see
turns
my,
out.
if you need to see my signed agreement, that was okay, I can send it to you.
I love
I
it.
wouldn't mind, I might ask for the plants cost about $200, so I may just ask for a letter of donation, if that's, I don't know if the government can do that, but thank you for your just so for tax purposes. I don't know if the government can do that, though.
Oh. Yeah,
Anyway, that's not just for discussion of this meeting.
I've donated those that are in Garden Park, so I guess that's.
Yeah, I think you can just pull it off and we'll all back you on it. If you wanna write it off.
We can testify at your IRS audit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
Thank you. Bring me a sandwich when you're there. So no, I don't know what you're saying, that it's, that you can sort of legally donate to a government or you cannot.
I've done that already, so yes.
Okay, all right, and either way, I want to say they should be perfect there because they should be colorful and healthy and perennials and bring in, the pollinators.
I like it.
Good.
And the hollyhocks are no more. They were accidentally sprayed with herbicide.
You're my hero.
Don, you're his hero. Did you hear that?
Okay, all right. Well, sorry about the accidental spraying.
Breaking my heart.
All right. And Don, you're still up. You and Dana met on May 23rd at Alice Park to do the garlic mustard removal. Did you
We
get
did.
Yeah, can you give us a little summary?
Sure, I think we had Pam. Did we have anybody else do that?
Yep, Pam.
Good.
Okay.
And I think we pulled 5 huge bags, and we could have used another day. The first part of the east side, so consider that okay. Above the parking lot was pretty much none there, and we got those last year. Although I mean the seeds do stay viable, so that some may come back next year.
Yeah.
But the on the west side after the parking lot, it was pretty thick, and we went up the hill and we got 5 big bags, and I mean it was successful. We could have had probably another day, and we had 3 people. I think 3 people. I can't do the math, but we obviously picked about a bag and 3/4 each.
I think we were there for an hour and a half, 2 hours,
At least yeah.
or maybe longer, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a nice evening. There's lots of really exciting native stuff up there. Like I'm trying to think my mind goes blank now. The carrion flower, I think with and the other ones.
Is carrion flower also campion? No, what's carrion flower? What color is it? Lance is gonna show me.
Okay, good. It's a very pretty, when they go to seed, they just have this beautiful ball of seeds.
Oh. Nice.
And you don't find them just everywhere. They're not, I mean, they're not rare, but they're kind of uncommon. And there's, I'm trying to think what else was there. There were a few columbines there. They're not hard to find.
I think she's mixed up. Oh,
Did I hear you think I'm mixed up?
no. Yeah, it's Smilex lacenaria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several of those, and it's one of those. But that is there. It's kind of a vine-ish thing.
Yeah.
Okay. They're very cool when they flower, and apparently their flowers smell like, rotting meat.
They're stinky like that. Yeah, exactly.
And but the ball of seeds is just, it looks like
It's almost like an allium, except it's green. It's a round ball of seeds. So, yeah.
Nice. So do you think it's worth trying to do another work day this year, or is it better to wait?
Well, if you can do it before the end of June,
Before they go
Probably
to seed.
yeah, I'm assuming everybody's pretty busy. I know they were busy that week. But yeah, if you could, kind of up on the hill, and I know there may be issues with boundaries, but I already give you permission.
That's right, that's
I don't know
right.
where the boundaries are, and it is considered a noxious weed. No one's going to mind it getting removed, but I think that probably people are too busy this summer.
Yeah, is anyone here ready to do another round, or do you think once a year is good for now?
Unfortunately, I think something else was going on that evening, so, because I know a year ago we had, I think, 5 or 6 or more people, and this year we just had 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were double booked for a sewer meeting or something.
Oh, yeah, there was that public hearing for the
So
waste.
I think next time, if we can book it on a day that's not in a conflict with,
Yeah, the open house for the wastewater, right?
yeah. So I'm just curious, how would we avoid that conflict next year?
Well, let's hope they don't have to have open houses next year.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully the sewer system will be working by then, so.
And the thing is what is it? Open houses have to be advertised 2 weeks before or something, or is that just hearings?
10 days, I don't.
Cause some of those things get scheduled after we would have already scheduled ours, you know?
Right.
So if I just showed up there tomorrow morning with a bag, would that be a breach of protocol for
Yeah.
the city?
You're just being a good Samaritan.
There you go.
Cause Dawn,
Nobody's gonna know.
did you bring them here or did Kane pick them up, the 5 bags?
Kane picked them up. There was no way I could lift them.
So that's the deal, Lance, that we've made with Kane, is if we do pull it, we just tell them and then they come and get it,
I can drag them down to his place too.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
If you go up, kind of up the hill, there's a large patch up the hill, and it would be great to get those because, the seeds go downhill.
I haven't walked down that far because I was on Virginia's property and I done a sweep there, but I didn't go down the hill all the way, so.
I'd say if you start from up there, it'd be easier.
yeah,
Is there a bunch of buckthorn there where you need to remove too?
there are a lot of buckthorn.
Not that much.
I don't think so.
Most of it, okay.
Nice.
Most
Yeah,
of
I
it.
don't, yeah.
So I would imagine you didn't have any time to put woodland plants in there that you were transplanting, did you?
I did not. I wanted to, but,
So
the
next
plant-
spring, there might be another chance if you're still working for that client, right? You could
Right.
find some more.
I'll be extra nice to her. I had a client who had many extra Dutchman's britches, bluebells, and others that I know bluebells are pretty common, but Dutchman's britches aren't. And I was able to dig up quite a few, but with my pressure on time, I gave almost all of them away to neighbors. And I think you got some, Dave. Katie.
I got some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the ground.
Thank you for taking them.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I didn't get Dutchman's britches though.
Can I transplant some invasive wild ginger down there?
Why is there invasive wild ginger?
I transplanted it several years ago and it has taken over my yard.
That means it's,
Ah.
well, but invasive, it means if it destroys a natural habitat.
Yeah, well, it doesn't do that. It's just part of
Oh, so
the,
then it's just annoying.
part of the world. It's just,
Well, you can always clip it back or,
Yeah.
There you go. All right, anything else about Alice Park?
is there any, did they get the planters potted?
Yes, and Sunny is enjoying them. She emailed me and she said, who can I thank for planting all the pots? And Alice Park pots are planted too.
Oh, good. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So, and Sunny said that we could use the self-wicking or buy them. But I don't think, is her name Vivian?
yeah.
I don't think she wanted to do that.
I feel like, didn't she say that there just wasn't time to do it this year, but maybe we could do it next year?
I didn't hear that. It sounded like they'd just water them each week, but maybe we can still, because I still think it's a good idea, to get just the pressure of having to water each week off of anybody's hands.
Yeah, but now that everything's planted, is that something that's in the pot or on
Yeah,
the?
it's in the pot, so it may be good for next spring.
Yeah, so that's something to keep on our list for them.
Right.
Okay. Cool, all right. So, Rylan, would you like to give us well, yeah, that's Orinoco Park. How did it go last night for the music?
Oh, it was nice. There was about 30-some people there. There's a lot of people came from Rochester. I think that were
Really?
fans of,
Oh,
that follow, Triple Berry Pie group anyway, so. I saw Rosemary and her husband, Stan and Teresa and Elwood from our neighborhood, and the Parkers. That's the only 3 couples I recognized. There may have other people that I just don't know, so, but it's very nice, beautiful evening. We had some issues with the power at the very beginning, but I went down and hooked the power up and did all the flipping of the boxes that I normally do, but no power.
Oh, boy.
So about 20 minutes, I called Kane, and of course he was off, so I just drove over to his house. Unfortunately, he was home, and he said, well, the only thing it could be is there's a power pole as you come in there, and somebody shut the power off over by the flagpole. But I didn't know where the pole was, so he told me, and by the time I got over there, he was over there with his UTV, so he flipped it for us, and we had power, so.
Oh, good.
Everything worked out really great. They had a really nice sound system, that I really would like to take a look at. I asked where they got theirs, and there's a speaker at the bottom, but there's long post speakers too, and really nice sound system, so you can use your.
The minutes just showed up.
you email them minutes
Well, no, the minutes,
or the agenda?
They came out at
Yeah, the agenda.
1:57.
Oh. All right,
Orinoco, they came out on Orinoco agenda.
okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen them before, so.
And thanked them for coming at the end and invited them back for the July 2nd and 23rd. It's Rosemary, next time you see her. Yeah,
Karen
it's
Parker.
great harmonizing.
and were the mosquitoes okay?
That-
Bugs, were there many insects?
The bugs were there at the beginning, but by the time 8 o'clock rolled around, I didn't notice them. There were some mosquitoes, yeah.
Wasn't horrible. Wonderful, all right, and who's coming July 2nd?
Jazz.
Uptown Jazz, nice,
I've sent a couple pictures. I think Uptown has a bigger following too,
yeah?
hopefully. They has agreed to make a poster again like she did.
Oh, nice.
Get on the event site or on the city Facebook page too. So.
All right. Pretty sure we're not doing fireworks this year, July 4th, are we? That's off the table. Apparently people were not impressed with the 15-minute firework thing at Cheese Fest. But how many minutes of fireworks do people expect?
What happened?
I-
It wasn't long enough?
I feel like the way she was saying it is that 15 minutes wasn't long enough.
If they want to, thousands of dollars it costs to
Complain.
not let them,
Or complain.
otherwise don't complain.
Right? Right? Okay, so, and you can be here for the July 2nd,
Of course.
right? So you get to be the MC again and stuff?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, this is Lance's turn. Lance was visiting with Paul Pendergrass, and they have a suggestion from, yeah, so Paul suggested that we name the trail under the bridge to Garden Park in memory of Charlie, is it Freed?
Fried,
It is Fried. Okay, so Charlie Fried, was essential in helping gain. And I don't know how, I don't know how official that trail is. I don't know that the city even does anything for it, but we should be doing something for it, but.
The question came up too, because I was, looking to the DNR parks and Storley. And, I was asking about the, campsite on Acres, northwest side here, off of Lake Shady, and that's been reviewed by the conservation and DNR, so it's legit. But I asked him about he'd asked me about the DNR launch that, we're talking about here. I really didn't know any history on it, where it came from. He couldn't find anything in his records about it being identified, so.
The only,
Top
the only
secret.
guy I know that was that in charge of it then was Joel Wager. He's probably since retired.
No, he's hanging out at Rice Lake State Park.
Seriously,
He
okay.
is, yeah.
Well, he was
Yeah.
involved with the development of that. That's all I can tell you. I don't know anything more than that.
And
The last name again?
Wager, Wager.
Okay. I'll share that with Bob.
Yeah, you could check with Joel, because he would know the history of how that came about.
So how long ago would that have been?
Oh, that's 15 years ago at least.
Early
Okay.
2000s?
And there's probably planning history beyond that.
call it when they survey to make sure there isn't anything good. Electrical.
Resources, cultural resources.
There isn't anyone actively looking at our files on stuff. But I don't think anyone's been hired.
I don't think that's
to
got
do
anything to do with this part of this
They
thing.
haven't hired anybody yet, or Sonny hasn't hired a specialist to look at.
That have been talked
Documents.
about? Or, yeah,
There's a position
Been
open.
approved, it's just finding somebody.
okay, so no one's applied for it yet or anything? Or,
Well, this stage is just, I don't know, it's
it's fair.
HR issue, I guess.
Takes a while. I did meet. Who's the new administrative assistant? What's her name? Mary? So. River Park, is there
Wait a
anything?
minute, we never
Wait.
finished the other thing.
How are we gonna name a trail when it's really not our trail? But we could name the trail that's.
Why it's not our
in River
trail?
Park,
Why is it not our trail?
Cause Boulder Dam Canoe does it.
Let's just,
So it's really.
I mean, it starts at River Park.
River
Yeah.
parks?
I mean,
Okay, and it goes under.
sorry, yeah, and it goes under the bridge and down along and that's technically,
Alice Park, we could put a sign at
I mean,
Alice Park.
it's private property, I guess, but it's still.
Yeah.
We must have some sort of easement or something for it. Isn't there a designated easement?
So if you go under the Minnesota Avenue Bridge. I think it's Ron Peterson, before a piece of property that has that garage.
Right to that, because doesn't his property end at the right behind the building, went to the river?
Yeah,
Well, I think if we're gonna start talking about naming trails after people, we should probably have a process in doing that, because we have a lot of great trails, and I think it'd be a great way to commemorate people in town. So it'd almost be like that we take almost like nominations or something. From community members, or we do it ourselves, we nominate people.
Yeah,
Kind of like the Outstanding Citizens Committee,
sure.
they do it and then.
Floral thing that I got at the post office from Paul. And it sounded like a great idea, and Charlie and I worked hard on the
Yeah.
Parks Committee for years. Getting
Right.
stuff done. So if anybody deserves some sort of honor like that, it should be Charlie.
He also was all the time. I used to see him down there because he'd do his water sampling down there.
Yeah.
So that'd be a
Yeah.
cool trail
He
too.
was a
He-
citizen scientist. so-
Yeah, he was always down there. So I mean. And then you wouldn't have to worry about,
Well, the garden park one, we could
yeah,
call that Charlie.
yeah.
Yeah, Ron. Property with his building and also down to the river,
Huh.
but there's some banks. Under the rivers, you know. Under this bridge fast and. We'll also have to go through water because depending on
Yeah,
the water level, you're going across his property
Right,
too.
yeah.
So
Well, it might be
there's-
better just to deal with garden park then rather than.
Yeah,
So we
because
don't
that
run
other
into-
one is, I don't go the other way, like I stop because I'm not sure, you know what I mean? So then people don't go, so then
Yeah.
it wouldn't be.
Well, when the water's low, it's easy enough to walk that trail down through
Mhm.
the sandbars.
I was on it last, Justin was there doing caretaking.
This is city property, this is the street. And then the street goes over here, and now here's
Oh, I see.
Many more
Ron's
trails
property.
Okay. Ron's property.
Trails all over.
He owns this here.
We've got trails down at River Park, we've got.
Oh,
mean,
I
there's
see.
And then he owns
Great
this
trails
here.
at River Park
Okay.
too. There's,
River-
some of them are
Yeah,
paved, some of them
okay.
aren't.
So the trail, it doesn't
Can we-
necessarily
Can we do
go
the-
on
kind of
his property,
park
but
give
it
tribute to the
can when the
people
water's
that
high.
live
Yeah,
there? The ones that live there forever,
but.
yeah? Same idea.
uh,
And then,
Yeah, I
so,
see,
we already made
encroaching
trails
on,
by
maybe
the
encroaching on Justin's property there.
well, there-
Not that
there's
it's a
trail,
problem, but
there's,
you can't designate something that's on private property.
Yeah, the garden park, I like that idea.
so at Riverwood Hills, we call it the Riverwood Hills.
Prairie.
Do that. Right?
Here's Justin's house.
But if we start naming
This is
trails,
the
I'm
city trail-
thinking, if we
trail
name
coming
the
from the
trail
bridge.
at Orinoco Park, I would nominate the
yeah.
Muskets.
Or it's further discussion with,
May I suggest that there might be something easier to name than a trail? I mean, it could be a bench, it could be a bird feeder, it could be a patch.
We have we have benches.
yeah,
We already have that.
Are they named?
they're dedicated to people that have paid for it.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that a trail, in this case, a trail sounds like it's fraught with potential conflict. And it
Why is
just,
that?
I think it could be done. I just think we have to,
Private property thing.
Well, yeah, but not in Garden Park or
Yeah.
Orinoco
we
Park.
just choose a park. I love the idea. I think we should do it. I just think we should do it in a way that's uniform so that like there's signage that all looks the same and you know what I mean? That we're not just,
in just for some reference, in Rochester where it didn't go well, the park board had assigned, I think, a new name for a park. And whatever name they used, the residents it's not that they minded the person's name, but they had no input and they did not care for something being installed without any community input on something they were going to use. it wasn't a trail, I think it was the whole park. But it may help to have, to know that.
Everyone's invited to our meeting, Dawn.
Yeah.
It's a
If they
public
wanna
meeting.
bitch about it, they can come to the meeting.
Honestly, it's all public information and we
No.
don't make any decisions without,
Right.
so.
Okay. Well, I mean, the same in Rochester. I'm just saying and I know it's a different world. I'm hoping to, help, keep or toss.
Yeah, so today it'll be in our minutes that we're talking about naming trails and how to go about doing that.
Let's say we're
Yeah.
dedicating trails to someone's honor or something.
There we go. Or designating prairie areas in that part. This was another idea too. Yeah. Okay,
So if that's in the minutes, then I think we're safe at this point, because we're not making a decision about it.
We'll just continue to discuss.
Yeah.
Just the dedicating, trails or prairie land to people.
And I would agree. I think Dan had mentioned there probably should be an objectively spelt out process. I mean, you could use this person. I don't know who this person is. I think you said his first name is Charlie. I think you could use his merits as a basis, but then that would be hopefully applicable to other people with those same merits.
yeah, because while you were visiting with Ryland, I was thinking about the Melkies would be a good family to
Yeah, no,
recognize.
for
at
Orinoco,
Expo.
yeah, sure. that'd be-
I mean, it would
At
be,
Orinoco
to me,
Park.
it would be somebody who was, involved with the parks, either served on the committee or did a lot of work.
Well,
Like
they
even
live-
just in Boca, what I mean, like with their,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. Just a
Well,
thought.
let's not get carried away with naming everything, but at least,
No, right. Like,
but I think Charlie would be a great candidate just because he was a real proponent for the parks in Orinoco and worked tirelessly for years
yeah.
getting stuff organized and I served on this committee for
You'd be
longer than I've been on here.
It-
inaugural.
And that statement, like a proponent of parks for years and worked tirelessly, could be
Yeah, exactly.
the what's needed. I mean, as for just so it looks like
Well,
there's a process. I mean, I
If you
agree
want,
that
I guess if the committee wants something like a nomination form or something like that, I'd be more than happy to write up something.
But I think parks proponent and work tirelessly.
Yeah, I've still got minutes from the meetings
Mhm.
when he was chair of the committee,
Yeah.
so.
And or impact, but it could be very short.
Yep.
And inspirational.
Well,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of lost in what Ryland was saying, that the DNR Parks Department doesn't really know about the DNR launch. Is it just
Doesn't
because
surprise me.
Well, the gentleman that is working there, he's not aware of it.
They don't communicate.
they don't
from
tell
one
people?
generation
from
to the
one
next.
And is it on any of the maps?
Know that, I would assume so, but
I hope so.
there's a sign down there. I mean, the DNR put a sign up.
Mhm.
We're gonna
It's
look
on
at
the
that.
Google Maps.
Heaven's sake.
It's on the DNR maps.
Yeah,
It's not
it's on the
a big
map.
secret.
It is on the
It's
Zumbro
on
River.
their
Trail
prim
maps?
maps.
So on Google Maps, it says public water access.
It's on their prim maps.
Okay. All right. So at
Just
this time,
Can I
yeah,
clarify one
Yeah.
thing quick, that Charlie was instrumental with the canoe access? Did you say that at one
No,
point?
no, I
No.
just said in parks in general.
Thank you, okay.
I thought he was.
I was
super-
getting mixed up, thank you.
Well,
I think
he
he's
was,
super
he wanted to see a canoe, because he was an avid canoeist, whatever.
And what was that land before it became that? Was it a
Well,
city easement?
it's a city street, or it was
So
an
it is
alley or
still-
something. There was a public right of way from the city, and it was just dedicated as a public access by the and I don't know what the history of all that, Joel Wager might know where all those records are, but that's all I can
It's an 80-foot street that goes down.
There was a street that went down that, there was a right of way, wasn't a street necessarily.
Is it still called a right of way then, or what is it
No,
labeled as,
We still maintain it.
right?
We take gravel down there.
But then my question always is who pays for
Well-
the porta potty down there? But that's probably Justin.
Cares.
But what were you
I
gonna
mean,
say?
that, you know, that was, if you wanna go back to ancient history, that was where the ford across the river went, up past the schoolhouse.
Oh,
That's the Dubuque Trail was there.
The Dubuque Trail ran through, right through there. It's historic.
yeah, it is. Well, that's probably why they wanted to do a dig there then. Or.
I wouldn't be
or while
surprised,
it's being
sure,
Designated.
sure.
Cool, bring it back to the July meeting. Lance, you'll bring us the
All right,
nomination.
I gotta make myself a note for all.
I really like this idea. I do.
So
And I
that-
think we could, if we, it would to be really thoughtful about it, you know, and to just, I like that, like kind of like what we do with those citizens. Or citizen, or outstanding citizen.
So does any of this have to go specifically to city council or not really? You have to tell city council that we're considering dedicating,
Probably.
right?
You want to initiate that current trail in Garden Park? Trail, that'd be great. Suggest because you'd have to either have work days to clean it up. It probably is
just-
best versus Public Works having to clean it up.
Or paying a little bit of money to make a sign and put it up.
Well, and I think we should decide on signage.
So,
So would we want it like our bright yellow and blue sign? You know what I mean?
it's in there? You sure?
I mean, there's an ugly, don't drive on this
Yeah.
sign.
But Riverwood Hills has signs and so
Nice
does,
I mean, at River Park, there's a blue sign when you get down to the park. And at the top of the trail, there's a sign. Oh, there's a big sign down at the park.
8.5 by 11 size.
Huh?
8.5 by 11 size says River Park out on the street where the dog
or
plays
the
at.
reader.
Right, but you wanna keep them like that to keep them consistent.
Don't know why not.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no point in changing the style of it.
Okay.
So we have to figure out budget wise where we're at. Did we get a budget for this meeting?
No. We have a hard time getting.
Parks,
And when, somebody mentioned something that, the historic trail,
Yeah, the fjord.
okay, because there would, I'm guessing there would be, there's the cultural something of Minnesota, and they giving out grants all the time for people to appreciate the history of Minnesota. So there could be funding for, if it's related to some cultural aspect or historic aspect, there could be funding for,
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. The Blue Ford.
it's, I'll send it to you. I can look it up right now.
Okay. Is it spelled Ford like a car?
FORD.
Okay. River Park, how is that looking, going? Have you even been? You said you haven't even been. Have you been?
Yeah, I walk all the time.
You have, Dana? Is it looking good?
Yep.
The tennis net took a while to get up, and is that because they're maybe waiting for the surface to be cleaned? I don't know, but it's up now,
It's been up for a while.
right?
I think we just, yeah. There's some hornet's nests in the pavilion.
Pavilion, yeah, they like it there. Did you tell anybody about it
Is
yet?
this being recorded?
Yeah,
I forgot to tell, my kids told me, or my son and his girlfriend were hanging out, told me, but, and I kind of forgot. There's a squirrel that lives up above, it's hilarious.
oh, really?
You go to in there and he like looks at you and then he goes tick, 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 and runs around and looks at you again. It's hilarious.
A squirrel in the pavilion,
Yeah, the-
That's
I love it. Okay. And then have we been approached at all anymore from the Carroll Cowden family about that property, or is it quiet? Okay. I did notice the bocce ball court is not awesome, but I don't know if anyone's using it.
I was gonna use it this weekend, but I don't know. I have a friend coming over that would like to play, so I may go up there with a rake and
Yeah. just
drag a
kinda
rake
check
across
it
it.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know how many weeds are in there right now. When I looked at it last, there weren't too many, but
If it's garlic mustard, I'll pull them out.
Right, that's right. Okay, and then, Riverwood Hills Park, I saw something on the sewer update for them, right? Like stuff's being seeded or something, are they almost
We're
done?
starting to do the restoration. The
Okay.
Restoration for the grass, there's a lot of work, it's a big area that's been interrupted,
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
That's what they're working on there, and, I know the path up Estes Lane, it looks like it's been, the erosion's been filled in, but I don't think they've seeded it yet, so,
keep an eye on that.
which is covered with warranty, so it's not a city cost.
And then, when is T-ball gonna start?
Started last
It's
week,
done.
Did it? What day?
Tuesday.
Tuesdays?
But from Public Works. About the locations for the bases. They play a
So
regular.
they do, there are 3 different fields. They rotate between them and play on the main field, they do use the bases. Where they lay down bases, just little mats.
Too far for the little ones.
The kids have a blast.
Yeah.
They sit out in the field, they just kick dust up. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
So the question was whether or not those bases need to be moved to a T-ball distance.
I don't think they would care. I think
They're not
But-
worn out by the time they get to
you want
it.
them to be worn out. That's the whole point.
The point is that, yeah,
but the third, so I heard tonight cause Chris, I was at the fire or first responders and she said there's a wire sticking out of the ground by third base.
Is there?
So I don't know what that's about.
I can ask Kate.
Yeah. I wish really. Taken care of, but from everybody at yeah, there was other chatter.
I mean, it was. The ditches and the road were torn up for obvious reasons, but. the- It's a little harder this year because. Or can't pull as far forward, so. It's a lot harder to back up and get out of there. But people just gotta be patient. So.
Right. And the fact that we put the swing set in there hasn't affected parking either. Do people park between the swing set and the fire
mm,
playground
Nope.
thingy? Everybody parks to the right or
Yeah.
almost by Tilly's? Oh, yeah, I love it. Awesome.
I
Okay.
have a comment to make about the no mow May. I remember we did that a couple years ago, I believe. And Kane had said they had had some complaints about it.
Yeah, so we talked about this last
Yeah.
month and it would be like we would choose, well, Donna's gonna come up with a plan.
Okay.
Part of the issue is we didn't have a plan, we just kind of went
Yep.
for it, and we did it all the parks and all the space. And this year, if we would do it again, we would dedicate like a space.
Okay.
And be like, this is no more, you know what I mean, this one
I'm all
space.
for it, but I just remember that he had
Yes.
kind of some issues.
Yeah, so we would kind of talked it through and we would do it in a much more thoughtful way and a much more, you know, and we would spread the word about it with our citizens and then obviously get the input from Public Works. So it would be a much smaller,
just dedicate Garden Park as no mow May,
Yeah, that'd be okay, sure.
because nobody cares about that.
There is one person renting. No, or not? Is there more than one person renting Garden
That
Park?
basis for helping your help.
Somebody, they emailed, the office emailed me something.
Bird
About
houses up and the fence next to his neighbor.
Oh, the old girl
The
guy.
bluebirds, they're all over the place.
Good.
Good.
Bless you.
on, but I don't know if anybody ever took care of it. No, you think no? The
What's
oak
that?
wilt? The oak wilt?
I'm looking at it right now, but I don't know if anyone contacted. What was I gonna say? There's something in my email about renting plots for Garden Park, so I need to check that.
I mean, there were just, white-throated sparrows.
Something about-
Chipping sparrows.
The rental agreement or something.
A great thing.
Um,
I think mine are gone.
so
Dang, crows come in, take a bunch.
So Dana received a message on May 12th, and we're not sure if anyone responded to him. He and his neighbors had recently had issues with oak wilt. In the last year, I've lost 9 of my 21 oak trees in my small 1/4 acre, primarily oak woods behind my house. This wilt seems to be very aggressive according to my arborist. I have already spent over $10,000 treating and removing trees since September. I was wondering if there is any government assistance for this kind of work. I know some areas receive grant funds to remedy these type of situations. At this point, it feels like a losing battle. I would hate to lose our beautiful wooded neighborhood. And he doesn't say where his neighborhood is. Our city administrator, public works director, and parks and trails chair, my response is they have a lot more knowledge about this than I do. Hopefully there is something that can be done to help the situation, as saving trees is in all of our best interest. Thank you so much for reaching out. That's fancy, David. That's great. So that was on May 12th. And the thing about private
On May
property
twelfth,
is
it
hard.
seems very early for oak wilt to show up on May 12th.
Well, I think he's just talking about previous years.
Okay.
You know, but what's happened, like some of the main symptoms for oak wilt would not include woodpeckers messing with your tree, right? That's something else, right?
No. Woodpeckers would be, if trees were stressed previously and they were being attacked by two-line chestnut borer, that usually starts at the top of the tree and kills them branch by branch.
Okay,
And woodpeckers would go after the larva of the two-line chestnut borer.
and then the leaves right now would be showing stress from that, right?
Well, it seems very, very early for that. I mean, I
For
think
the oak wilt.
it would have to be towards the mid to late June before you'd really start to see.
Help with,
Yeah, and I'm seeing like there's DIY, you know, do it yourself inject on how to inject the trees. It does not have to be done by at least whatever website this is doesn't have to be done by a professional. I don't know if that's true for Minnesota, but apparently it's not something you have to, you know, it's something you can.
so you can inject trees yourself for oak wilt?
According to this video, this webpage,
Katie, if you would follow up.
Yeah,
With Sunny and Kane and see if they followed up, because this is just something that I don't.
I know, right?
So,
Well, and he's
thank you.
asking if there's something the city can do, and there really isn't much the city can. do.
well, like if they're trying to treat their trees, they can treat the trees.
Typically, the way, I mean, in park situations where you have a bigger area, a 1/4 acre is very difficult to deal with unless you're gonna deal with individual trees. But typically what they do is they trench 60 inches in the ground to disrupt the root grafts that occur amongst oak trees. So it doesn't pass the fungus from one to the other.
How do you do that in a yard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We used to do it in public use areas. Or, well, I mean, back in the day when they had, you know, when there was a lot more oak wilt going on.
So I'm curious, have you heard of a treatment that's called propiconazole?
Okay,
It's injected into the tree? You have heard of it?
does that have to go in? It's not like Dutch elm disease where you have to put it under pressure.
Mhm.
with an air compressor? I don't know, I'm not sure.
But I mean, so it's not, I don't think the separating the roots, I don't know much about oak wilt, but according to this, it's not, I don't know that separating the roots is required to treat.
Well, without going into a whole short course on oak wilt, that's the way you stop it, is you find the oak infection center and then you measure out 100 feet. And then you cut a line around this oak wilt center, and that disrupts but you gotta do that pretty quick. You can't just wait a year.
So then the proconazole is not effective or just not?
It takes quite a while.
She's wondering if the injection is really that helpful.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a whole new thing to me. We used to kill the stumps with a cocktail of herbicide or herbicides, but
Right? Okay. All right. So that's the oak wilt piece.
plant Kentucky coffee tree.
Yeah,
And, alright, so then my only thing, we kind of skipped past the EAB. You wanted to talk about that, Lance?
oh yeah, you had something you wanted to
Oh.
say.
So, part of the grant was to plant 12 replacement trees, and somebody's got, and it's not, I'm willing to be an advisor, but somebody has to, with a credit card, has to go buy those and arrange for them to be.
Well, that would be public work.
Exactly.
And was this in Orinoco Park? Was it in Orinoco Park or where?
Some of them were Orinoco Park and
Somewhere out.
Cotton Park, we were gonna plant a couple. I don't think there were any around the community center because those trees are being treated, so. The question is gonna be in the future, after next year. They're treated more time. And then the city has to figure out whether or not they want to pay for that on an ongoing basis, so.
I'll follow up with, Sunny and Kane.
Right now, is that being paid by a grant or something?
Yeah.
Yeah? The injections?
Yep.
What time of year does that happen?
Well, first injection should have been, it should be done this year. And then again, 2025, I think it is. I think they last 2 years.
But what time of year is that?
June.
June? Okay. Dawn taught me that the blonding on the tree shows that
Yeah,
the borers are in there.
they're all dead.
Is it blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a lot of those that are gone at my
Yeah.
place, but I'm not just.
You'll find all kinds of D-shaped exit holes on those, and the woodpeckers are having a field day. Boy, it's like an
It is.
artillery
It is.
shell around my house. When they're not banging on the chimney cap.
Yeah, or the deck rail.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think they're gonna get something out of there, but that's okay. All right, Dana, how are we doing on minutes? You have some?
What's the last thing? Next meeting, we'll probably have to change that. We're not gonna have a meeting on July 3rd, right? We're closed.
Oh,
We're
is
closed.
July 3rd
We're
closed?
closed July 3rd, right?
This is on what day?
Tuesday. What's the official celebrate or the official holiday? Is it the 3rd or is it just gonna be the 4th?
Maybe it is. Maybe it's just me at work. I get that extra day.
The 4th is a Tuesday,
Correct,
guessing Monday.
is a work day. Okay. Well, somebody's gonna have to figure that out.
Agenda.
And does this off on June 19th? Does the city have to take off on June
Yeah,
19th?
we voted that in a while ago.
Is it
The tenth,
but
nice.
we will, I mean, we just make that decision now if we wanna have it on the third or if we wanna move it.
And it's always a challenge to move it. And all the things we need to do on the third versus,
If it is on the third, I will not be able to attend.
right?
Yeah,
I think that would probably be a consensus for everybody.
you move it to the Wednesday or you move it to the 10th?
But then they always have something on the tenth.
Look
It's
here.
usually not that easy to just move it 1 week, unfortunately. School rush on the tenth? What's the second Monday?
The 10th.
July sixth is a gold rush meeting.
We should be able to do it on the tenth. There's nothing here, nothing on the calendar anyway.
So
We just have to tell Sunny. I'll make a motion to move our July third meeting to July tenth.
I will second that.
You won't be able to have the meeting here.
But
Is it-
We used to do that. We haven't done that.
Township
What,
Road.
what park? I have to put it, I have to, we have
Yeah.
to notice it.
Well, let's meet at Orinoco Park.
And I can only meet by Zoom in, what day was it? July the
July 10th.
10th. I will probably be traveling. I can meet by Zoom. It's possible I'm there, so never mind.
Okay, and also we'll be at a park, so that won't be possible.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, no Zoom on the 10th.
Okay.
Second, who seconded that?
I did.
Justin. You're gonna call for a vote, Katie?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Can I? Should we keep it
Yeah.
at 7 or do you wanna do some for 6:30?
Oh, I say keep it at 7, so
Okay.
it doesn't confuse us.
Don't want to confuse the masses that are clamoring to be at our meetings.
Follow up with.
Are we done?
We are,
I
motion
think
to
so.
adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in
Alright,
favor?
we got,
Aye.
We're out of here.
blah, 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 blah. So we got 8:15 instead of 8:18 like last month. Lance, thank you for being here and visiting with us about designating trails or park areas.
Yeah.
I like it. Dawn, thanks for visiting us from New York.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, right, Lance?
What? Oh,
Night, Lance.
Take care.
Silence.
Hey,
I know,
did you
right?
hear about, well, I'm sure you have, Rachel.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's yelling across the room, right?
Well, the house,